everybody. Better Call Saul has made me very, very, very upset, okay? I just got to Season 4, Episode 7, and I was taking a shower, and I was watching the beginning of it, and it did this song, I think it's called Something Stupid. I don't know who sings it, though. And then I go and do it all by saying something stupid like, I love you. See? Well, you didn't see him. But yeah, it's like that. It's really, I think it's a classic song. It's probably from the 80s, and I don't know. But the song is really good, and I've heard the song before I listened to the show. So when I listened to it from the show, I was like, oh, I have to pay attention. So I'm sitting there letting the water hit me and go all the way down and everything. And it's burning because I turned it all the way up, and it's really hot. It's burning, like I got a first-degree burn in the back of my spine. And it's horrible. It looks like ground. It was like raw ground beef. I'm scratching at it, just pulling out the skin and all like the guts, and I can feel my spine. And I'm like, I could just snap my spine. But that's not important. What am I talking about? Yep, you gotta keep me on track, all right? But yeah, it was horrible. So I was sitting there and I was staring at the show. I was watching it, and it made me so upset because I like Kim and Jimmy. I think they are probably one of the coolest, if not coolest, best on-screen couples that I've seen in my lifetime, right? And the thing is, they're not even a couple. I don't think. At least they never tell us. It doesn't make any sense. They don't really go into any explanation. Was that a bird? Yep. Look out for birds. Can you put binoculars on a cat? What happens if you do that? Yep. Look through these. Look through them. Your entire perception of reality has changed. You are not a cat anymore. You've grown into a tiger. One of the best on-screen couples I've ever seen, and their relationship is never super like established. Like you get to see it, and you get to like watch it happen, and they are already friends, and they only really cut back to them in the mailroom once so far that I can remember, and it was in like a couple episodes ago. Oh, by the way, I should say spoilers for Better Call Saul. I don't think I've spoiled anything yet, but spoilers for Better Call Saul up to Season 4, Episode 7. Don't spoil anything after. I've seen all Breaking Bad, so I might spoil some Breaking Bad too. But I haven't seen the El Camino movie or past that, so please don't spoil that. I really like the show. I think Better Call Saul is ultimately superior than Breaking Bad because the main character is much more likable. I didn't really realize you were, well, at least in my headcanon, you were supposed to like hate Walter White like near the end. And then like he was supposed to redeem himself. Like all the things he did was like a bad thing. I just kind of looked at him as cool old meth guy from Malcolm in the Middle. And yeah, so I didn't really get that. But Jimmy is like actually kind of a good guy. He's not a really good guy right now. He's not being a good guy right now, but he's got a good heart. Except when he was bullying that old woman, but then he made up for bullying the old woman because he staged a confession and everything. It was awesome. I loved that part too. By the way, it was fantastic. This show, like I said, I think it's superior to Breaking Bad, mostly because it seems like it's more contained. I don't know if it's just me, but seasons 3 and 4 of Breaking Bad, I don't really fully understand what was going on and why certain people were doing the things they were doing. Like, I don't know why Hank was super scared to go to El Paso, or I think it was El Paso, or whatever, in the first place. He seemed really hyped about it, and then he got super scared because he shot Tuco, but like he easily took care of that, but he was like a hard ass beforehand, and then he was just super scared, and then he started making beer, and he was just doing really weird things.
They're minerals, Marie. Marie, they're minerals. They're not rocks. How many times I have to tell you, Marie? They're minerals!
And it just didn't... There's some things they do, it just doesn't make sense, but it looks like it's building to something, and it is, but it just takes too long. There's so much stuff happening. Like, it's cutting like 8 different stories taking place at once, waiting for them to get back together. Whereas in Better Call Saul, there are only really 2 stories taking place, and you already know most of the events that should transpire, because if you've seen Breaking Bad, then you know like the people connecting, like how they're connecting, what ends up happening to them in Breaking Bad or whatever. So like you kind of get the gist of where the thing is going, but then so you probably be like, oh well, this could be boring because I already know there's no stakes. But somehow they still make it very interesting, and I still don't really know what's going to happen. Sometimes they pull some shit out of nowhere, like do some shit out of their ass. Awesome. Back to what I was saying, they never established their relationship. The first time you see Kim and Jimmy interact at all, I think they're like looking in the thing when he goes to HMM. to like talk to them or something about the check he got, and then he walks outside after kicking the trash can, and there's just this blonde woman who I didn't think was going to be an important character, and I thought she was going to yell at him and be like, Jimmy, you fucking idiot, you can't do this, whatever. She's just sitting there smoking a cigarette, and all he does after he kicks the trash can, which you can see he's done it many times, you see he's done it many times before because there's already like a dent in it, so you can, it's like they show all the camera work in these fucking shows. Vance Gilligan, I love you. You are a master at work, man. The way you do your camera shots, I guess it's not you doing it, it's the camera guys. So the camera guys, fucking impure. I would literally, you could line up in a fucking line and I would blow you up. After he kicks a trash can, he walks over, puts his foot on the thing, takes the cigarette out of her mouth, to which she doesn't interject or like stop him from doing it. He takes a puff of it, and then he just gives it back to her, and then they have like a small conversation, they have like a talk, whatever, and then you get to realize, oh, they're fucking friends, and this is something that she does with him all the goddamn time. And then you cut to later on when, I think, when's the first time she gets super mad at him?
I don't fucking know. Why are you asking me, dude? You were recording this alone.
Can't remember exactly what he does to piss her off the first time he does something, because I don't know, this far back in the show, and I'm way too into it right now, and I can't remember that part, but I can only remember what I wanted to talk about when I was thinking about it in the shower, so that's what I'm gonna fucking do. One thing is, you realize that they're buddies, and that she works for the place that he hates, with the people that he hates, that are like doing the thing with his brother, who I hate his brother, by the way. Chuck is a bastard, and when he burned himself, I was kind of happy, and that's all I'm gonna say on that matter right now. So she works for HMM, but he wants her to leave HMM because he hates HMM because they wouldn't hire him because of blah blah, his brother's douchebag blah, and everything else like that. So, but she can't leave, and she's also a lawyer. She tries to like help him out and do everything, and tries to be like his like not guy in the chair, but like shoulder to cry on. And you never like at first you don't know if their relationship is like a friendly thing or if it's romantic because they never like kiss, I don't think, or like they have sex once. And there is one time they do it, but there's like a lot of build up to it, and before they do it, and then but I don't think they really they're not really romantic to each other at all. They just like talk a lot, and they have like a lot of flirty vibes and shit. And I think it's so awesome because I love Jimmy and I love Kim, and they literally like keep each other very grounded. Because even when Kim is going through a bunch of shit, Jimmy will help her with it too. He does it in a more like not snobby, but skeeving, conniving way. Yeah, you know, but that gets him in a little bit of trouble. But, well, you know, we'll get into that. I remember the first time that they get pissed off is he, like, does something to their client or whatever with, like, the rich guy that stole a bunch of money with the stupid bitch woman who just refused to admit that they had the money, even though it was clear to everyone that they had the money when Jimmy saw the fucking backpack. And she's like, there's no money. And then they fucking leave her. And then he has to like do a bunch of conniving shit, and then he gets them to go back to Kim because he finally realizes that he can't help them the way that he needs to, and he puts the money back in the bag, and then he gives it back to Kim, and that's whatever. I thought they got mad at it there, but then I forgot what it is. But I think it was the fucking she gets him a job. She gets this man a job at a law firm. I forget what it is, but she gets this guy a job at a law firm. And then he just doesn't take it at first because he's being stupid at this moment. But then he goes and he does take it eventually, and it's really cool. And like he thanks her for it, and because she's a boss friend, she's literally a badass. Like I love. Even without Jimmy being there, Kim is just an awesome character all by herself. She's an amazing lawyer. She puts people in their fucking place when she has to. She sticks up for her friends and does whatever like she needs to in the moment. She's very quick on her feet. She's very quick thinking. She's definitely my wife. So she gets this guy a job, and then he fucks around and fools around the job and pisses off and does whatever. Then he goes back home and his friend dies. And he comes back, but he can't like tell her about it because I don't think she knew or do whatever. And you find out later that they met in like the mailroom, so maybe he did tell her like back in the days, like a long time ago when they were working in the mailroom together or doing something. I don't really know. But I also kind of think that she was like one of the reasons he also tried to become a lawyer because he saw her doing it and he liked her. And then he was like, you know what, I'm going to go study in the library and do things, and I'm also going to become a lawyer, and I think it's going to be great. And it was kind of great. But trust me, this is all leading to somewhere, I hope, I don't know. A big point happens into the show that takes up like 2 whole seasons, I think, where Chuck and him and Jimmy are mad at each other, and Jimmy runs in and tries to like destroy a tape, and he like fudges numbers or whatever in Chuck's report. It pisses off. But Jimmy finally goes and does something. And then Chuck tells Kim all about this. And then Kim is just like, no, Chuck, I think you're lying. And she stands up for Jimmy, knowing full well in the moment that Jimmy is like at fault and that he actually did this. She knows he did because she doesn't say anything to him on the ride home. She just do whatever. But she stuck with him. And it's just like this weird moment where, like, any other time she hated him for the bad things he was doing, and she would, like, get mad at him and do whatever. But I think she started to finally realize that he's good at these things, and he, like, he even told her, like, I'm good at this. I'm good at doing whatever. I'm good at, like, being, like, kind of a crooked guy. He doesn't say that, but he, like, in layman's terms. And I think she kind of understands that because she knows they're friends. She just want to stick up for him, and she also sees that her brother, or not her brother, his brother is a complete and utter fucktard who just deserves to be thrown into the sun, dude. She sticks with him, and through the whole thing, she even represents him. She helps him with the court case while she's working on this bank thing that I think he helped her getting back involved with, or maybe it was some mumbo jumbo with the one thing. Well, no, he did, because that was why. Yeah, the reason he's even at fault for doing the thing with Chuck is because he wanted to get her back this case that she would. This is why I mean that I love them together, because they will work so hard to do things for each other, but in their personal ways that showcase their characters. Kim will do it in the legal, moral sense of trying to find the right way to make a deal or to work things through, like, humanistically. Whereas Jimmy will find a way to kind of connive his way and sneak it through and do anything he has to get the way he wants because he feels like people deserve it, even if it's not for himself. Most of the time, it's not for a selfish reason. And now he's selling the stupid phones to make money, but he's doing it to get a law office because he thought Kim was going to work with him again and everything like that. It's kind of sweet in a way. Like, I think Chuck says it best. He does have a good heart, and most of the stuff he does do it for Kim. This specifically does it for Kim. Yeah, he switches the numbers around because Kim did a bunch of work and got this bank for HMM, and then she leaves HMM because she realizes they don't give a fuck about her, because they don't. They treat her like shit. But the one person who doesn't treat her like shit is Jimmy. So she leaves and does a private, her, like, own practitioner thing like Jimmy was doing, and follows in his footsteps, does whatever. But then she loses the bank client that she has, this really big bank client that was going to give her bank client that was going to give her a lot of money and everything like that. I don't know how lawyer stuff works, but this show has been teaching me a little bit. So Jimmy puts the fucking things down, and he's like, I don't know why I'm explaining Breaking Bad episode, because if you didn't want to spoil it, you're probably not, I don't give a fuck. So Jimmy puts the fucking numbers, he fucks it all up, and then he gets caught for it, and then Kim stands by him, because even Chuck says that he did it for you, probably out of some weird romantic gesture, which is it's like a weird romantic gesture. Who are they to each other? They start sleeping in the same bed, but they never really, I don't know, and that's why it makes me so upset, dude. It makes me so sad. But we screw on, we get to the end of it, and she helps Jimmy get through the thing. She gets him a 12-month suspension. And they both did it together, and they work on it, and they do some conniving stuff. And then they also start going to this bar and trolling people and getting them to, like, pay for their tabs and everything. It's really cool. They do it to the one douchebag, I think his name is Ken Wins, from that one Breaking Bad episode where Walter White puts the window washer thing in the guy's car and blows it up. That guy. They troll him, and they get him to spend a bunch of money, and they make up stories. And I really want to do this with somebody. It's fucking awesome. The show makes me want to fucking just make shit up to people and, like, improv and get them to buy me things. And it's all really cute, the things they do together. It's all super cute. And then they just fucking make Kim have the worst day in her life, and she gets into a car crash. And it's a jump scare, and it fucking freaked me out. She's driving down the road, and she's tired, and she's like, blah, blah, blah. You can tell she's tired. She says she hasn't gotten out of sleep, and Jimmy even says, hey, take a break, do whatever. And he's always there for her, telling her to, like, take a break, slow it down, trying to look out for her health and do whatever. And then it just jumps from her driving to airbag in her face and shit. And it was freaky. I'm not gonna admit, it kind of scared me a little bit. I was shocked. And then they also open their own thing. Like, she makes sure she tells Jimmy, we're not partners because I can't work with you if you're going to be a scumbag lawyer, but we can be like, we can work in the same office, we can do whatever, we work together. And Jimmy loved it. It was awesome. It was the greatest thing. And that's why I was so sad that when it ended, I think that's when he just realized that it all just ended. Because he even went up to her one time and he was just like, was this going to happen or not? And she didn't know what to say because they were at, like, a party or something. And, like, what do you say? But they never answer the fucking question. She never actually gives him a goddamn answer. And that's why it makes me so sad, because the episode title is called something stupid. The song is called something stupid. The whole point of the song is that it's a man and a woman, and they're sitting there and they're all in love, and then he makes the mistake of being like, I love you. And it's like either like too early or it's too late or it's not in the right time. And the whole song is him being like, I fucked it all up. Like I had, it was a perfect moment. We were all happy. And I said something stupid and I loved you. And then it's the whole point of it's perfect writing and it's so good, but it makes me so sad, but it makes me angry too because I don't, fuck it out. Who cares? And they start working together, and they do a bunch of stuff. But then she gets to her car crash and starts like to slow down their workload. And Jimmy he starts to like lose interest in one thing. He's just becoming more and more of a scumbag. And then she finally tells him like he's working so hard to get this law office for them, so that way they can keep working together. So he wants to keep her around. And they're, like I said, they're such a good couple. They're so sweet with each other, and they work so, they balance each other out so well. It's just amazing. And the thing is, Kim is not in Breaking Bad, so I knew going into it that Kim and him were not going to be a thing, or if they were, it wasn't going to last. But what really pisses me off is I knew that, and I was like, okay, so I'm not going to get attached to this. I'm just going to be happy that I'm going to watch Jimmy. I can't wait till he says the Better Call Saul thing, which we're getting there. It's been 4 fucking seasons that we're finally getting there. But then I did. I got fucking attached to it, and I wish Kim was a permanent fixture in the show, but I know she can't be, because wherever Jimmy leads his life down, there's no way in her character, the way they portrayed it, was going to fucking follow him. Not at all. So she eventually goes up there. She gets a job at the same law firm that she got him a job at when she was working at HMM. And then he, they're at that bar that I was talking about, and she tells him. He gets up to go to the bathroom, and he just, holds his heart, and it zooms in on him as, you hear the knife chopping slowly as it fades in the background. You just see him in his eyes that, at that moment, he knew it was over. He fucking knew it was over. Oh, God. And then the next episode just fucking hurt me so bad. Because it's playing the song that I'm talking about, all about how the guy messes up because he said, I love you. And so far in this show, I don't think either one of them to each other have said the words, I love you. And there's this cool camera thing going on where there's a line straight down the middle. And you can clearly tell that both things are happening at once. When they're I mean that obviously they're happening at once. It's showing Kim's side and it's showing Jimmy's side. And when they're in the bathroom together, it's clear they're in the bathroom together. You can see when they're laying in bed, the line is in the middle where you can see they're when they're in the same room, they're in the same room. But for some reason the line is still there because they still feel separated. And I don't think it's coming from Kim's perspective, because remember, we're watching Better Call Saul. I think it's coming from Jimmy's perspective. Jimmy has already put this line between them, and he's separated them, and it's over now. Because as the thing goes on, there's this really cool trick that they do in the beginning. They go into the bathroom, and they have 2 shots, one on Jimmy's side and one on Kim's side. But they're wearing 2 different sets of clothes, meaning these are from 2 different days, or these are from 2 different perspectives. These aren't the same. Like I said, when they lay in bed together, it's just in the middle and they're in bed, but they're still in the same bed. These are 2 different bathrooms. So the same bathroom, different whatever. I think you get my point. And so they do this cool fucking thing where as it goes on, it's just showing them go day by day. Kim is getting awards from the bank she's working with. Jimmy is getting more phones, working with Huel, selling the phones. And as she goes and meets with clients and writes papers, he's selling the phones and going out and giving them. And they go to bed together. They wake up, they eat food, they drink wine, and they do a bunch of stuff. They all do it together. But slowly, more and more, you can slowly see that, it's drifting apart. Jimmy is clearly more happy doing crime and, I don't even know if the phone thing is crime, because he's stealing it from his job. I don't know how he's doing it. The show hasn't explained it yet. I'm pretty sure they will. But you see he's more happy doing that. And it was with her. He's bored. He's drawn. He's thrown off. He's in a faraway place, and it's whatever. And as it gets closer and closer to the end, it cuts back to that same camera shot of them in the bathroom. But this time, Jimmy is in the left or the right, and Kim is in the left one. And they're alone. They're not with each other. Whereas in the first one, he was putting the toothpaste on her toothbrush, and then they were brushing and spitting at the same time. And it was very cute. And now they're on 2 different time zones because Jimmy's staying out all night doing the phone thing and selling them. And Kim is working all day at the law firm. Now that she has other people, she can take breaks and be a normal schedule and go be a public defender like she wants to, and everything like that. And it's just so sad especially at the very end of it when they're in bed. And like I said, before when they were in bed, they were together. And they did this really cool thing at first where she puts her leg over and hits him on the bed. They're showing that they're really still so cute together, still doing little things. But then Jimmy is leaning to the side and it starts to zoom in on him, and as it zooms on him, Kim's side slowly starts to it's empty. And I think she disappears. And now it's an empty bed. It's just him in it by himself. And then it goes black, but the thing is still split in half. But there's just nothing there, and then it's just Jimmy, and I'm like, oh, dude, because he knows he lost her. He knows, in his head, it's over. His head, it's completely gone, and half of his life has just gone away. I think that's what I'm getting from it. And then this whole scene, he goes to the party, kind of sabotages it, and he talks about the thing and trying to get in, he fucks with her boss right in front of her, and then they drive home. He puts the rock music on. That's as far as I got before I stopped and I wanted to make this video, which hopefully is something. But yeah, it was just so sad, man, because like I said, they were so perfect together, and they had such good chemistry between each other, and the show cut back to everything perfectly. And whenever something bad would happen, they never hid it from one another. Jimmy would sometimes, and Kim would too, but eventually they would always come out to each other and they would say it, and they were always mature about it. Even when Kim was mad, they came back to each other and they would talk it out like adults, and they worked through it, showcasing how good their friendship was, and how much they cared for one another, that they were willing to sit there and work through their problems so that when they could be together again, rather than move on from each other. But now it seems like Jimmy, if he can't work with her and she's gonna go work by herself, and he's gay, and their lives are just two different things. They're split in half. They live two different lives now, and he just can't do it anymore. He's cutting himself off. And it's so sad, dude. It's so sad because I don't think Kim knows. She even tried to help him after Chuck died, give him the therapy, and he just didn't do it. And it's just, I can't tell if this has been building for a long time, or if the straw that broke the camel's back was her telling him that she was getting a new job or something. I don't know. But all I know is it's sad, and it really made me upset. I really like this show, and it's better than Breaking Bad. I'm gonna keep saying that because it's fucking true. I will fight everybody on that. It's better. It's a better show. Jimmy is a more likable character than Walter White is. Walter White is a self-sabotaging, egotistical douchebag that will do anything to make sure that he's the only one making blue meth until the last 3 episodes of the show. Whereas Jimmy constantly is battling between the good and evil thing, and he's usually choosing the good side, but now I think he's becoming evil, and eventually we'll get Saul Goodman. But I haven't gotten there yet. But we gotta get there soon. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you like Breaking Bad or anything, and if you can put it down below without spoiling too much or whatever, what's your favorite part about Breaking Bad? I just love the characters. I love how much they talk, they connect to each other. I never really got invested in the dramas and everything, but I find myself legitimately getting upset and happy when things are happening in this show. I'm so used to CW drama where everyone will hide everything from each other until the very last moment where they tell them, and everyone fights, and then they just forgive each other the next episode, and then it's all fine and dandy until a new thing comes. Whereas these ones are taking their time, letting us really cement and feel what our characters are feeling, see it through their eyes, and understand it from their perspectives. Yeah, we get to see these characters for what they're feeling. It's just very good. I very much like it. So yeah, that's my favorite part about the shows, the characters. My favorite scene, I think, in both shows is still the intervention scene in the first season with where they're talking about how Walter should go get the chemotherapy, and specifically right when I've probably said this so many in this video. When Walter Jr. Tells his dad he's a pussy. That right there. Oh my god, everything after that kills me every fucking time. So yeah, that's my favorite part of Breaking Bad. What's your favorite part of Breaking Bad? I love Breaking Bad. I know what I'm